from Glasgow. Oh yeah, this is Duggystone Radio, the best way to drag your ass into the day. And we're joined by an amazing comedian. Yes, yeah, he doesn't want to be called like that. Sketch writer extraordinaire, all-round funny guy, unless you're one of the opposite teams when he's taking the piss out of him. Anyway, Stuart, hey, how are you doing?
Not too bad, how you doing?
All right, mate. So yeah, they're good there. You ought to check them out. They're nice guys as well. Really
Yeah,
nice.
definitely. They've definitely got like that Blackstone Cherry vibe, so I understand where they get their name from.
Yeah, they're awesome. And that they were, when I saw them at the O2 Soundwave Awards, they were regional finalists with the other guys. And there was a lady there of older years, probably about the same age as me, bopping away. And I thought, and I went to her, are you their mum? She went, yeah, I am. So they were brilliant. They were really nice guys to talk to. We interviewed them, and it's a shame because very talented. And that's the thing with anything. You can be very talented, but you're up against a lot of people, aren't you? Same as you.
Well, that was one of the reasons. Like, I kind of fell out of love with being in bands and playing music. Like, it got to a point where there was just so many bands and just so many artists. It's like you're just going to get lost in it unless you had something completely special and completely different, which unfortunately I didn't.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is. It can be very demotivating when you're trying your heart. I mean, I've tried for about 15 years to properly play in a band, but everybody and anybody's in a band. That's when you quickly realise when you're a touring musician, and just to kind of get your break and get your start on it, it's extremely hard. The music business is a very, very, very hard place to get.
Very, very cutthroat as well, and
definitely.
But I mean, I suppose the other thing is that thing's always there, and you've started introducing that into your comedy sketches with your your parodies of other songs. So that was still there.
Sorry, carry on.
No, go on. I'm just saying it's still there. It's still there. That skill set is still there. Can still be used.
Definitely. I think that's something I've actually been looking at for the past year because once this started taking off, I fully focused on it. And it's only been like the last year I thought to myself, I was like, I tried all these years. Like, I've been playing instruments for about 20 years, and I've just chucked them at the back burner. And I was like, sure, there's a way to kind of bring these two together. And we found a really good idea in that to parody songs and rewrite them. And that's something we're going to fully focus on for the next 6 months. That's going to be the new stuff, kind of just parodying songs and that really getting a chance to play music again. And I mean, so it's been really, really fun to do that. It's been good to get back in studios and pick up a guitar again and stuff like that. It's been brilliant.
Excellent. But did you produce any stuff then? Is there anything out there online that we can go and find at some point, or do you want to brush that to one side?
No, it's stuff in the past. I think one of my old bands actually two of my old bands are still on Spotify. The Violet Moses, they done all right. They were not too bad. A couple of good sold out shows up here in Scotland, and there was another band called Armstrong, which was a female-led punk band. I toured quite a lot with them. Done a lot of really good tours with them. Played a lot of really good shows. They were probably the band I was closest to getting somewhere with, but just the way things go, man. Just the way it goes, it just falls apart. And that's it. So, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But you never know what happens in the future. I'm definitely going to go back to it at one point, but I'll be trying to get a BAFTA first.
Yeah, why not? Hey, there's no reason why you shouldn't, should you? Do you know what I mean? It's
definitely.
I mean, it's the stuff that you do is tough. Is a tough gig as well. I mean, but I think the benefit of it is if people get you, or you start getting people gravitating towards what you're doing, then it's easy. In some respects, it can be easier than the music, because music, you've got the mainstream stations pushing you and all sorts of things blocking you. So I think there's an advantage in some of the stuff you've done. You've got to be good. You've got to have a talent. If you know what I mean. If you're not funny, no one's going to take a blind bit of notice of you.
It's the same as everything. You just need to find your thing. You need to find your thing that relates, and be that music, comedy, anything creative. You need to find the thing that relates to the people who are going to listen to it, going to watch it, and going to interact with it. When it came to my music, it was, don't get me wrong, had a good small fan base, but it wasn't anything to write home about. Whereas with the comedy and the football comedy, I've just found my niche. That's it. I've found the market, and I've found the thing that's really really connecting with people. I mean, I remember the days when I'd have like back in the MySpace days, or even the first times with like Facebook pages and things like that. Like, I think I only ever got like 500 fans. I think that was the most I ever had with my music, and I think I've made 5,000 Twitter followers in 4 months with this.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. I mean, so it's what happens. You find your niche, you find your market, you find the crowd, and I've just stumbled across something and tapped into something that's worked out really, really well for me.
I think you're right there, because when you do need, if you try to be something to everybody, you know, you've got a lot of people doing that, but to niche down. I'm not really aware of anyone who's specifically doing just football. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so you've got, you know, some people might say, well, why are you doing that? Because you're restricting yourself to just people that are into football. But even people that don't really watch football, I've watched your stuff and laughed at it, and I'd some of the stuff I probably don't even understand half the things. Does that mean I can't relate to some of the things you're probably talking about, but I still find it amusing, because, you know, I sort of twig what you're trying to achieve. So it makes sense.
I've got a friend. I've got a girl, a lassie I know, who's not into football at all, but she watches my videos, and so she's a really good pal. She does the BBC stuff as well, and she gets it. So if she can get it, other people are going to get it, because I know for a fact she hates football, and she doesn't watch it at all. So if she found it funny, then I knew I was on to something.
Yeah, I never watch it. My brother-in-law would watch Tiddlywinks if it was on the telly. And he in the past, he has to change now. He brings his own kit. He comes down and goes, "Can I put the football on, Kirk?" And I go, "Yeah, if it's on the terrestrial TV." He went, "What do you mean? Have you not got the sports channel?" I went, "No." He went, "Well, why do you watch the football and that?" I says, "Well, I don't watch any of it. I don't watch any sport at all." He went, "You're joking?" I went, "No." So now brings down, he's on Sky, so now brings his iPad down and sits there with his headphones on, watches the football. And not going on my telly, man. It's not happening.
Well, that's what you were saying there, Ellen. Like, you don't think that you've seen him do the football stuff like that. That's the cool thing as well. I don't know if you can do this in England, because it's just completely different. It's, as I say, Steve, it's like, it is football comedy, but it's more than football up here. So if I came down to England and just made some jokes about City and United, it'd be funny, and it probably would get a good laugh and things like that. But because it runs so much deeper up in Scotland, and there's a lot more to it than football, that's what really gets it. That's what gets it. So if you chuck a wee bit of religion into your football down in England, then maybe he'll come down and do something.
Yeah, it could be good, couldn't it? Politics and religion. I mean,
that's it. Think about politics into your football, and then you're onto a winner. Really?
I mean, I do some rants every now and then. I've not done one for a week or so, and I go off on one proper, and people go, "You can't say that." And I go, "Well, come on, I am."
Oh.
I'm going to say what a lot of people are thinking. Do you know what I mean? Oh, you'll get people offended or whatever. They can block me, can't they? That's dead easy.
They'll say me, my Twitter followers go up and down like a yo-yo. I'm telling you, like, some days they love me, some days they hate me. Like, it just goes up and down, regardless of what I say, because it is like that. I'm saying things up in Scotland that nobody's ever really said before, and that the BBC gets scared a lot with that. That's always a good one. The conversations with them when I tell them ideas, and you can, like, their faces just drop. I can't do that. Why not?
Yeah, and that's interesting, because that's a good subject, that, because some of the stuff I've seen and shared, because I sometimes share funny clips on my show in the morning. That's what I do, just to break the show up a bit. And some of the stuff the BBC put out, and I'm not a prude, and I go, "Oh, wow, have they done that?" Do you know what I mean? How they get away? Who signed that off? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So. Right. That's interesting. So when you're going to do a sketch, do you have to put it to the BBC and say, "I'm going to do this, and this is how it's going to rock"?
Definitely. There's a team it needs to go through. Don't get me wrong. The BBC have been fantastic. The team I work with, they understand the vision I'm going for, and they understand that there's no animosity, and there's no direct. It's not as if I'm just doing this idea simply to rile people up. They understand there's a creative process behind it, but like anything else, like the BBC are a massive global brand. You know what I mean? They're a massive global company, so they need to make sure they're not overly stepping it, which isn't a great thing. But they've let me get away with a lot of stuff that I don't know how I got away with it. You know what I mean? Like, there was
Go on.
one that just pops to mind. One that quickly pops to mind was I literally done a sketch where, in order to support Rangers, you have to be mentally ill and take and take medication for your mental illness. And I got away with it. You know what I mean? So I pulled I feel like millions. I mean, worldwide Rangers have probably got a good couple of million supporters, and I basically said every one of them have a mental illness, including myself. You know what I mean?
That is fantastic. I'm gonna have to go and find that video definitely, because there's that much out there content. That's absolutely brilliant. But you're right, Why not? Sometimes it's subjective, innit? So one thing could be offensive to one person, but not offensive to the other. And I think as long as you're not some of the dodgy stuff, do you know what I mean? Kids and things like that, and then why not? Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't like it, don't watch it. That's brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
Saying that and doing it is two completely different things. Like, as the majority of my audience are working class males, and they don't mince their words. I'll tell you that, and especially when they see you in the street.
I bet they don't. And why not? Why shouldn't they be? And they probably appreciate what you do anyway, even if they say they don't. You know what I mean? They probably still find it funny.
I'm not too sure about that.
Nah, whatever. We're not bothered. We're not too bothered about that, are we? Should we have another track, because the time is ticking away, and we'll come right back after this. Now I've got another Scottish band for you.
Is it just a Scottish team today?
I just don't know why. I just thought I'd put them on, and then I just thought, might as well can't. Normally do a triple play on a Wednesday. You see, 2 hours of triple plays from our listeners, but we've brought you in today because I messed up. So it just rocks with it, doesn't it? Why not? Anyway,
I'll put a shameless plug out there. There's a really good Scottish band, local band that you'd probably enjoy, like. They're signed, I think they get signed last year. They played Download a couple of times, the Download Festival, and they just put out an album. They're called Anchor Lane. They're the same kind of vibe of the band that you just played last year, kind of old school rock, things like that. I mean, they're really, really good pals. So I'll give them a wee plug for your show.
That's brilliant. Well, let's just see. Well, I was just searching, but my system's running a bit slow at the minute because I've got so much going. Anchor Lane. Lane. Right. Well, as if by magic, hopefully we'll find them here. Let's see if we can get them on. Yeah, this is good, isn't it? Waiting. Three guys, is it?
Anchor Lane. No, I think is it 3? Maybe 4. I think they got a new drummer in. Anchor Lane, as an anchor from a ship.
Yeah,
Lane.
I've got that. Dead Run is one of the tracks. If this is the right band, should we have that?
I think so. I think it would be. I don't think there's any other bands called them, but they're from Glasgow. Good kind of power rock band.
Let's try this then, because it might not be the right band, but we're going for it.